fellow humans, what's going on? And thank you for joining me in the second decade of the new millennium. It's your girl Cassandra from the elevatedlifeexperience.com. And I am no medical professional, guys. I just consider myself a life experimentalist here to share the things with you that I've learned along on my journey. All right. So, guys, a topic that's like life has really kind of just been like throwing my way lately is interference. So, I guess it's about time I share. All right. So, so interference is a very interesting subject. The only thing that we should be interfering with is ourselves. Okay. Everything outside of us is not our doggone business. And the thing that's interesting is that I've come to learn is that interference is far beyond just literally inserting ourselves into a situation. It also can be gossip, forming opinions, judgments on another person's life and their decisions. It's interfering because we're also sending our own energy into somebody else's energy, to somebody else's life and the things that are going on within their life. Okay. Which I'm going to say right and wrong is really kind of relative, but it's not the best thing. You know what I mean? And it's such a common thing that we do. You know what? And it's another one of these human traits that we have, where sometimes it could just be second nature for people to be like, oh, well they do that. And, well, did you see that they did blah, 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 blah? Ooh, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many ways that, like, you know, or like, I really just don't like the fact that she's wearing red. Okay. All right. You know what I mean? But when we're interfering, it's important for us to allow things to come to us, even as a healer, right? So I do healing, and a lot of times I will go out of my way to provide healing for things. Whatever being, you know, what comes my way that needs some type of healing, I'm like, okay, you know, I will go and be like, okay, cool, let me do it. But everything has its own natural cycle. Okay? If something is meant to die, it's going to die. If something is meant to have some type of catastrophe over here, it's going to have a catastrophe. It's not on us to interject ourselves in somebody else's life unless we're invited. Because it's meant to play out for a reason. Okay? Every single thing that we experience in our lives is an impact and part of our journey for us to live, for us to grow, for us to expand, for us to heal. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just for us, it's for everybody. Each and every person has the same experience in their own way of these different obstacles, blessings, and gifts that are intended for them along on their journey. So unless something comes our way, it is not our place. I mean, granted, it still happens anyway, and that's outside of our control. But it is not our place to interject and interfere into the scope of somebody else's sphere, and somebody else's energy, somebody else's path, because that is their path. If somebody needs help, they'll ask for help. For instance, like my sister had like she had like diabetes, and she did not take care of herself, you know. And as if you know somebody that has diabetes, or you have a parent that has diabetes, gosh, if I can say it right, or even just people that care give in general, there's a lot of times where they will try to enforce certain things for a person to do. Okay. Now, I understand the caring nature that comes from it. I understand the intention because you want that person to be okay. But at the same point, what's really happening here? What's really happening is that now this connection, this relationship is getting a strain. You're either going to have this other person that's now going to lie to this person, or there's going to be a clashing of heads because they're going to do what they're going to do. And now here's this person trying to interfere, trying to say X, Y, and Z, I know best for you. You see the problem? No. Unless that person comes to you and says, I really need you to manage X, Y, and Z. I know blah, 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 blah. Please, can you please help me? Can you please guide me? Can't do it for them, but can you please guide me? Can you please assist me? Blah, 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 blah. Same thing. If somebody needs healing and they come my direction, that's one thing. But if I go, do you need healing? Girl, calm down. They're fine. They're fine. You know what I mean? Especially when it's like, like a bird. Like I had an experience with a bird where it was like, did I interfere in its life cycle? Did I interfere in the cycle of life because I then covered it? Did I interfere with the natural cycle of it being food for another being? I mean, one of the interesting aspects of interference that I really was challenged with was when I inserted myself into the insect community. You can think it's weird if you want to think it's weird. But so I was going out to the dumpster one day, and I had seen, because beetles are really a thing for me, I had seen this beetle in the spider's web, and I had to determine what I needed to do, and nothing. It got caught. That's it. You know what I mean? That's its cycle of life. So that wasn't. So had I interfered and taken the beetle out of there, which I could have well done, now that's no food for the spider. You see what I'm saying? So it goes, and it doesn't have to be on the scale of life and death. It's on every type of scale where we just need to mind our own doggone business. It like literally just ends up kind of coming down to that, where again, whether it's through our actions, the things that we think, because our opinions, our judgments, our thoughts, our words, even if they are not said to that person, do interfere with another person's life because they create. They are energy. And something has to begin as an energy before it shows in the physical form. So yes, our judgments, our thoughts, our energies, our actions, we need to keep them to ourselves. What right do we have to think that we understand how to operate any other being's life better than our own? Because if we were meant to, we would have control over them. But the difference is that we don't. We only have control over who we are. And that right there is enough for us to handle. Normally, if we feel like we can't handle this, that's when it's so much easier to handle and try to control something that's outside of ourselves, right? Yeah. So guys, I really just wanted to throw this message out because I felt like again, this has really kind of just been like shooting towards me. So guys, as always, I am sending you my absolute unconditional love your way. And I hope that whatever moment it is that you're having at this exact point in time, that you are feeling in control of your own life, strong within your own being, and in love with the experience of being present in the moment. All right? Mahalo.